All right, everyone. Hello and welcome. This is Wings along with Denial Esports bringing you the first in a 3 or 4 part series about streaming. Now, in today's streaming episode, we're going to be talking to you about Open Broadcaster Software, more commonly known as OBS. It is a free open source software for live streaming and recording, and you can go to obsproject.com to download it. And once you have it downloaded, you're going to have a program that looks a little bit like this. As you can see here, this is the basis of the program. And once you download it, you'll probably have no idea what you're doing. But don't worry, we're going to walk you through the first steps of this program, what it has to offer you, and why you should use it. And the other videos will be covering XSplit, FFSplit, and possibly FLME for all of your streaming needs. Now, whenever you first open up the program, you can see you can right-click here and scenes and add a scene. You can make unlimited scenes in OBS, fully free of charge, no premium subscriptions needed here. But whenever we first start, we're going to create a profile. As you can see here, whenever you first start, it's going to say untitled profile. I'm going to type in the game that I will be streaming, and that is Dota 2. Click on add profile, and you can then select it from the drop down menu. You can have an unlimited number of profiles, and just select them on the fly, or you can also map them out the hotkeys if you so choose. Well, now when we go to the encoding settings, you'll see everything here. For audio encoding, you do have AAC, you do have your adjustable bit rates here. More than likely, you want to have 192 AAC on your audio. Keep it at 44.1 kilohertz stereo. And for quality balance, now, this deals with your still image. This doesn't deal with your overall quality, fast-paced, moving across the screen, right? No, it actually kind of does. And depending upon if you're using a capture card or what processor you have or how much bandwidth upload you have, etc., depicts this quality balance. Now, for most games, I'm going to say 99.9% of the games out there, and also 99.9% of the streamers, you have an AMD quad-core processor or a low-end i7, or you might even be streaming with a dual-core. I have done successful 1080 streams with open broadcasting software on an old dual-core Celeron processor. Now, I had to have a 16 meg upload in order to actually have this happen, but it's possible. Really crazy, I know. But for the sake of streaming, you want to keep this not at 8, but depending upon how much action there is in the game, we want to keep this at between 5 to 7. I'm going to choose 6, and for your max bit rate up, and you can use a custom buffer size, but I wouldn't. You can cause a lot of stuttering and other atrocities on your stream if you don't have that set correctly. 1 meg up is the absolute bare minimum for streaming. So if you're on a DSL connection, yeah, maybe you can stream. Most of us, though, are on cable connections. We have anywhere between 1.5 to 5 megs, even all the way up to 30 megs up, depending on what part of the world you're in, etc., etc. But for doing a 720p or a 1080 stream, the absolute bare minimum is 3000 KB up. Or if you're going to a speed test, that is going to be around 3 megs up. If you're going to need to test your internet and you don't know your speed, go to testmy.net. The reason we go here instead of speed test or speakeasy is because flash-based tests are notoriously inaccurate. It's about how fast your browser can load up the flash and upload it. In reality, these upload tests that are here are more accurate. They'll show you how your internet actually works. As you can see here, we're going to load up 33 megs of random data and upload it and see what my upload currently is. I am on cable, so I can go anywhere between 10 megs up to 5 megs to a whopping 0.9. And it depends upon the time of day, how many people are on the node, and how my cable feels about me. And while that kind of sucks, well, that is the majority of United States. You're going to have cable connection, and you really need to know what your average upload speed is. And by uploading 33 megs of random data that is generated in your browser, you will know. Now, I will tell you that yes, you're on cable, so it's going to fluctuate. This 33 meg test is going to probably take the majority of the video to finish. But while that test continues, we're going to keep going with the program here. But for a 1080 stream, as I said, you want 3000 up. You want your audio to also be at 192 kilobits for your bit rate, because it is nice. You can go lower, but you're going to suffer audio quality loss. And if there's one thing that I stress as a streamer, is you want to have the maximum quality. Now, if you can't get 3 megs up and other things, feel free to send me a message or leave a comment below on the YouTube video or in the article section for Denial Esports, and I'll work with you. I will get it to where you can stream with whichever program you choose the best possible way. I know all the ins and outs with every program. I've been doing this for a long time, and I can help you get to where it's the best for you. But for the sake of HD streaming, you want 3000 and 192. On our broadcast settings, as you can see here, we can do a file output only and live stream. And personal bias here, I've had the best luck using OBS for doing local recordings. You can do full 1080 capture, 60 FPS without barely any drag on your processor, and you'll have the smallest file. I mean, I've recorded full 1080 Battlefield 3 for an hour, and my file was like 500 megs. It was like using an AverMedia Live HD capture card. Dear mother of God, right? It was amazing. So if you're going to do local recording and you can bear with OBS, please use it. You won't regret it. But for those of us that are streamers and we like to do everything live, you can then select your streaming service, which is, for me personally, Twitch or Justin TV. Then on your load balancing, choose the location that's closest to you with the least amount of jitter. Now, depending upon the time of day and how many people are on the servers, I will switch between Dallas and San Antonio, Texas for my location. And now you can see your path/stream key if you have one. And there's my upload, 4 megs. It does fluctuate, as you can see here. It's going up and down between 4 and nada. Lovely thing for cable here. As you can see, I've had other times where I've only had 990 KB a second. It's kind of terrible, but I can stream full HD with my connection. My average is 3.7. So, you know, there you go. But if we go over here to twitch.tv/broadcast, while you're logged in, you can see this button here that says show key. And whenever you click that, it'll show you your key that you will then highlight, copy it, and then paste it into your path/stream key, if any. Also, you have your dashboard link. We'll go to twitch.tv/broadcast/dashboard, or you can also click here and then click on dashboard under your name, and you'll get your dashboard link, and you can paste that right there. So you don't always have to have Twitch TV up all the time. And you can also set hotkeys to start and stop your stream. I would recommend, the more you get into casting, the more professional you're going to be. Have hotkeys for everything and use them, because mouse clicks, as you can tell with this video, you can hear them, they're annoying, etc., etc. You'll be a lot better. You're going to improve your casting by at least 10 to 15% by using hotkeys. We all know the bulk of casting is your personality, the quality of your voice, and also the knowledge that you possess of the game that you're casting. But still, the little finer details in life, like using hotkeys, can help make or break your stream. If I want to set a hotkey, I'll click here, and then let's say I want it to be Control F1. And to stop it, Control F2. All right, I can apply that, and it is saved. we'll go to our video settings. As you can see, here's my video adapter, the GeForce GTX 550 Ti. If you have multiple video cards, you can select them from a drop-down list, or if you have the AverMedia Live HD capture card or Blackmagic capture card, you can select those from the drop-down list as well. If you are using a capture card, please make sure you select it instead of your video card, or you're going to run into a world of hurt. And yes, the reason I'm mentioning this a lot, even though I don't own the capture card, is that the makers of OBS do possess AverMedia Live Gamer HDs, and it works flawlessly with the program. It is absolutely fantastic, and whenever I have the money to get one, trust me, I will have it. But other than that, you can now select your base resolution. If you're going to do a 1080 stream, select 1920 by 1080. It's if your monitor does have that. My main monitor does. This secondary monitor that you see here, however, does not. It's a 1600 by 900, but here are the other great settings here. Now, if you want to do 480p, you can do 852 by 480 on your downscale, or 720p, you can downscale it to 1280 by 720. Downscaling does work. So if you need to do a 720 stream and your PC cannot handle a 1080, downscale it, add the best 720 stream out there with 3000 up, doing it 720 at 30 to 45 or 60 frames per second. You can make an outstanding stream. However, I'm a stickler for 1080. I love 1080 ever since I could actually watch it. And you know what? If people can watch your 1080 stream and you're not lagging, they're going to love it too. So if you can do 1080, by all means, please do. And for your FPS, if you're playing an RTS, a MOBA, a MMO that is not supremely action-packed, you need 30 frames per second. If you bump it up to 45, remember, you're going to be putting more strain on your processor and more throughput on your upload. So it's going to be hitting your max a lot. And if your max is not very high, you're going to start sucking it up, and your stream quality will degrade. 60 frames per second is reserved for those of us that are going to be streaming high-quality, action-paced RTSs. We're not talking about StarCraft 2. We're talking about free-to-play games like AirMech that are constantly moving around and doing X, Y, Z, or a first-person shooter, you know, Battlefield 3, Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, whatever your flavor of FPS is. 60 frames per second will make it shine, you know? But 30 is still the bare minimum. If you're doing a 60 FPS stream, you want to have at least 3,500 over here on your encoding screen, or 5,000. 5,000 is what I would think would be the bare minimum. So 5 megs up, a steady 5 megs up, mind you, for doing a 60 frames per second stream at 1080. Other people will argue that you need more, but also, please remember, if you have people that are watching from Europe, UK, Southeast Asia, they have a high millisecond ping to the twitch.tv place, and their download may not be as high as your upload. And then they will say that your stream is lagging, they will not be able to watch it, and you'll run into a lot of other problems. So please, know your audience, know their internet, so you can cater to everyone. So what I like to do is keep it at a nice, simple 30 frames per second, and keep it at 1920 by 1080. Under your audio, you can choose your desktop audio device. Keep that as default, or if you can see your speakers on the list, which I can, which is my Gamecom 780. Remember, Plantronics makes some great products for a low price. And also, my microphone is going to be my actual line in, not Realtek, but as you can see, I got tons of audio stuff, but my audio box USB audio. Yes, that's right. This high quality audio that you're hearing is not, in fact, the Plantronics Gamecom 780, but it is a Spark Blue microphone along with the audio box USB audio. You can pick all of that up from your local music store for about $400. But, you know, besides plugging all the random stuff in here, this is just what I use to stream. It's what I use to make a high quality stream and high audio quality. You can tell with the microphone if your quality is going to be very high or not. And throwing down a lot of money on a microphone is only feasible if you are doing what I do as vocal narration, and you also have a stream where a lot of people are watching and you're making monetization. Don't waste money if you don't need to, is the golden rule of thumb here whenever you're getting into streaming or you're an established streamer. Whenever you're with big boys like Day9, Total Biscuit, etc., then yes, you can throw money down and you're going to make it back, no problem. But when you're just starting out like us, be very frugal with your spending. Now, you can choose your boost and your offset milliseconds. I don't mess with that. I also don't mess with muting my sound because I don't need to. I usually have everything set up where it's going to run ship shape, and I don't need to mute sound. If you're just now learning how to stream and you have a lot of mistakes and issues, then set up hotkeys for muting your microphone and your desktop audio. But I would hope that if you're streaming, you're going to be very serious about it, and you won't have things like cell phones going off, babies crying, people coming in and out of your room, etc., etc. We can go to the Advanced tab now after we apply our changes, and we can see the process priority class, your second buffering time in milliseconds, and your X264 preset. Now, also, if you have a static IP, you can bind it to that IP address. I'll just keep it as default. Keep your latency tuning factor at auto. But I don't really know what those do as of yet. I've been experimenting with them. I haven't had really anything happen except for it either can lessen the delay on my stream or make it more so. Now, on your process priority class, if you have a lot of programs running in the background of your computer, which, again, I hope you don't. I really hope you don't, but some people do. You can keep this at normal, or you can move it all the way to high. Just note that if you go above normal and high, you're going to be putting more strain on your processor. So if you have Skype and YouTube and blah, blah, blah open in the background, you're going to start putting a lot of strain on your processor, which will shorten the time that you will have it in your hands. Literally, you can burn out your processor by doing this incorrectly. So please, know your limitations, know your cooling, and know your computer whenever you mess around with advanced settings. I can't tell you how many people have come to me saying, oh, I burned up my processor. I don't know what I was doing wrong. Well, they had everything configured incorrectly. They were running their processor at 100%. They had inadequate cooling. It overheated. Their computer did not blue screen, or if it did blue screen, they didn't care. And they kept doing it over and over and over, and bam, it's gone. Okay? Now, X264 preset. You want to have this default on very fast. If you have a second gen i5 i7 processor, you can move that to faster. If you have a top-of-the-line $2,000 Sandy Bridge E processor, you can go ahead and move that all the way down to slow if you so wish. Just note, what this means whenever your X264 CPU preset means is it'll offload the calculations onto your CPU instead of using your bandwidth. It'll help you save bandwidth if you have low bandwidth and a very high Class A processor with amazing cooling and overclocking capabilities. But if you don't and you're the average Joe, keep that on very fast. If you have a great computer, you spent $2,000 on it, cool, put it to faster. If that's applicable. And new to OBS is a microphone noise gate. You can enable the preview, and now you can see whenever I'm speaking versus when I'm not. There's where it cuts off. So you can set your open and close threshold here. So I want it to be about right there. So whenever I'm not speaking, and then right whenever I start speaking, I want the open threshold to be here. Remember, though, if you set it incorrectly, it will it'll sound like that. It'll chop you off. You can then enable the noise gate and set your attack, hold, and release time. And it can make you either have a very, very highly professional broadcast, or it can make you sound like an utter fool. So remember, whenever you're setting that, hopefully you have a little bit of experience with recording audio like I do, or creating music. You know how to set gates, etc., etc. Or you know what, if you want to just test it out so you have it where it's working right for you, so there's no background noise on your microphone, etc., etc., then by all means set up some test casts on your Twitch or wherever, and you'll be good to go. All right, now that we have all that applied, I know you've been here for 18 minutes. Most video tutorials are 10 minutes, but the difference is I want you to know everything. I don't want you to have to ask a question. While I love questions, you won't be bothering me with them. I feel that the more I can actually put into your hands and the more you know about the program, the less stress you're going to have. So we'll finally add scenes now, and this is going to be my desktop. We're going to add sources. As you can see here under the sources, you have window, monitor, image, slideshow, text, video, and game capture. We're going to actually add a monitor capture here, and we're going to say monitor 2. We're going to select monitor 2 here, and under the preview, you can see here 1600 by 900. There's the chop and the black mark, and that will be seen on your stream. Make sure if you're doing your resolutions differently, you click edit scene, drag it to where it fills all the way with these red lines, and you'll be good to go. And yes, your stream will look like this with the infinite bounding box. unless you move this off screen, which, as you can see, whenever it's moved off screen here, all of that is null and void. Okay, so always, if you're going to be doing stuff with your desktop, have obs minimized, to be using hotkeys. See, you see what I mean there? Hotkeys makes your stream look professional. Or have 2 monitors, which I do. Normally, this monitor is where I have my web browser and everything set up, web chat, and then my main monitor is, of course, where I have my game, so it doesn't bother me. We're going to add scene now, and we're going to type in game, no overlay, because people do love adding overlays, and we're going to add a scene with overlay. A lot of people like having overlays in their games, especially whenever you're casting, so we're going to add a game capture here. We're going to just type in game. As you can see in my process list, I do have Dota 2 up. I select it, and boom, there it is. Oh, there it is. But if it does not magically have that selected, as far as if it has a black screen, you'll have to click into your game or run it in windowed mode for it to automatically grab it. So if it doesn't grab it the first time, that's oakley dokley. Now we're going to add our game capture again here. We'll select our Dota 2. Okay, there's Dota 2. Woohoo! We'll start watching a game, because what good is making an overlay and everything if it looks absolutely atrocious because I'm not in-game. So we're going to have this game load up here for just a second. And I know if you guys are like, wow, this is the longest video tutorial known to man. Yes, it is. I tried making 10-minute tutorials, but I felt that it was an injustice and that people would not truly understand everything that they need to know about the program. And if you're going to make a video tutorial, you should do it correctly. Now we have the game up here. You can see here, I would be streaming at 30 frames per second. I would not have any drop frames, and there's exactly how much bandwidth I would be using here in the preview and how long I've been live. Now, we're going to go ahead and add an image. I'm going to type in overlay. Sweet. Click on and browse. Click on my Dota overlay. And bada bing, bada boom, I'm a hustler, baby. Watch when I step into the room. There is my overlay. Pretty cool, huh? Now you can see my overlay here on my mouse. And you can always come back over here. Switch to your game that has no overlay. I'm going to go back and forth pretty as you please. You can also add a scene for a be right back screen. And then add your image there. Browse it, add whatever image you want. I'm going to use the Denial Esports logo here for that. Of course, it's going to have a black background. Also would help if I move this here to the middle. And there you go. You have your Denial Esports. Also, if you want to have your sponsors, etc., here you can always just keep adding more images. So I can browse. Go to the Denial Esports here. You can see here, here's the Denial Esports logo. Make sure you hit edit scene, and I can now scale that down to a reasonable size and then have it right here, or you can make it bigger. But remember, everyone can always see your stream as far as you making live changes. So have all this stuff set up before you go live so it looks high quality. So now I have my Denial Esports logo here along with my regular RivetingTV overlay for Dota 2 whenever I am casting tournaments, along with my name down here at the bottom with Bahamut's. Also have my Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch all up here at the top. That's very, very cool. And then you can make a high quality broadcast. Like, if you want to see how this would look on my stream, you can always go ahead and go to twitch.tv/WingsLTD to take a look at how this actually would seem on there. I mean, I can make the window bigger, obviously, for you guys at home, so you can see this is how it looks. Very nice and clean overlay. And that is about it. If you have any questions or comments, or you want to see more in-depth things, just go ahead and leave a comment here under the YouTube video. There will be links in the description, and we'll also be looking at the comments on Denial Esports. For those of you that have more streaming questions, I will be happy to help. As always, this is WingsLTD with Denial Esports and RivetingTV, and we'll catch you later.